Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?
A beautiful Wednesday morning to you and welcome to Ways Breakfast, hashtag what are you saying, the platform for the informed, curious and passionate persons. A lot of people working 9 to 5 are pregnant with joy because it's going to be another holiday tomorrow. Everybody has been shouting, when is tomorrow going to come? When is tomorrow going to come? But yes, tomorrow is just nearby, but let's not forget the reason for the season in this sense, because tomorrow being Democracy Day, more than ever is our time to reflect on what democracy really means to us and what it ought to be. So while you're resting, doing something nice for yourself tomorrow, please think about what you want to do for your country. Well, this morning, our conversation is steered around the Gen Zs again. Lord, I feel so old talking about this because it's almost like I'm trying to judge them every time we talk about Gen Zs. But this morning, we're addressing friendships in the eyes of the Gen Zs, the pros and the cons. And this is where I also ask you to join this conversation and other amazing discussions that we have here. You can tune in every Monday morning to Friday as we explore pressing discussions, public perspective, and inspiring stories right here on Week's Breakfast. I am your one and only Okikiola Taiwo Jalukmo, and I welcome you to the show this morning. And I'm also grateful and glad to be here alongside my precious Chiquito. I've not seen her in how many days now?
In like 2 days.
2 days, K.
Saturday,
People
Sunday,
should wait,
Monday.
let me. No.
4 days.
4
4
days.
days. Oh my God, what's happening to our friendship?
Internet friendship. And basically, that's what we're talking about today. So how are you?
I'm doing
How was
well.
your trip?
My trip was amazing. It was refreshing, and I'm glad I had to like take that retreat, to recalibrate and be set.
Fresh
launching. I love that. Fresh fire. It's launching into this new quarter that we're entering, and I'm just happy. Yesterday, God really said something quite amazing before we got on air, and I was telling everybody, she said, oh my God, Oluchi Precious Omenka. She called my name in full.
Government name.
She now said, I've not seen you in a while. I've missed you so much. I'm like, hey, coming from God's beauty. I love. But she was in a super good mood yesterday, and I mean, I was happy to see that. So that's all that's happening, basically.
I'm in a super good mood to see you too
Are you sure?
sometimes. But yes, I have a question for you. As
Bring
always.
it on. Questionnaire.
If you were going to rate your friendships, would you say that you are friends with people or people are friends with you?
I'm friends with people.
So people are not friends with you?
No, yes, you're talking of rating. So since you have brought either or, I'm going to pick one. But I think I have an experience of both, where people are friends with me, and I'm also friends with people as well.
I think
It's a 50-50 thing I try to
it
play.
falls more on people being friends with me. Because most of the time during certain conversations, when some people let me in on some information, I'm like, this is for friends.
Sure.
Why are you telling me? And over time, I start to probe on certain questions, and I found out that this person considers me as a friend, but I'm not seeing that person. I'm just seeing that person as a mutual or maybe as a colleague.
An acquaintance.
Acquaintances. And then I just wonder, this person have carried this armor on friendship on top my neck. What do I have to do? How do I reciprocate? Which is always a tough thing, but that's why I had to ask that, are you friends with people or people are friends with you? So I always feel like a lot of people are friends with me because I like to listen to them, and some people use that as a as their own standard of what you call friendship. But for me, it's always beyond just opening up to me. Is honesty, which some people don't have in that sense. So, yes, I also wanted to ask another question.
Okay.
Can you spell backwards?
Backwards, I think I can.
Okay. If I asked you to spell encyclopedia backwards, could you
That's
do that?
wickedness. Well, you don't say we asked me to spell pot backwards. Encyclopedia.
Why did I want to? Okay, spell friends backwards.
Friends backwards. SDNEIRF.
Do it faster.
But
But
I don't know if I was correct, but I mean,
do you know that when
trying
I was
to-
in like primary school, that's one of the things that this so-called weekend lesson teacher used to do to us when he tells us to spell after the dictation and all of that thing. He just said that, okay, now that you know the spelling, we're going to spell everything backwards. I'm like, bro, how much are they paying you?
That's a diligent teacher.
Did my mommy tell you
teachers.
something? Did she tell you that? I don't
But it's
know.
a good
boo.
exercise. I mean, it helps your IQ to envision things and try to take it
But
backwards.
spelling it back to the front is where the issue is, because your mind would have thought that, okay, you're reading backwards. And there's this thing that always goes on social media too, where they actually put like a story and they try to twist some of the words and your brain just automatically
I've
gets...
seen stuff like that.
I think I like that. It helps with the brain, but I like that more. But I don't like spelling backwards. But I
Spell
had to
ways
ask.
backwards.
SYAW.
Okay.
You tried small, you this
You
teacher,
try.
but you were not a good person to me. Thank you. Well, as well, want to hear from you. Are you friends with people, or are people friends with you? What are your standards of friendship as a Gen Z? How do you consider someone to be your friend? I want to hear from you. Share your thoughts on our social media handles, from Instagram to TikTok to YouTube to X and Facebook. Just share with us. Want to hear what you have to say. Let's go on a break right now. And when we return, we'll take you to the top stories across the globe. Please stay tuned.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Sure, great to have you back from that break. Now, let us take a look at the news from the pages of today's paper. It's almost always like the most tasking phase of our episode every day, where we have to highlight the top stories from the Nigerian newspaper and sometimes the international news. But this morning, we have the Daily Trust and the Guardian newspaper. I'd love Oluchi to start with her paper.
So let us give context to why it is. So why it is a struggle many times, because the papers are laced with some stories that are not always encouraging. You can actually just pick
True
the
that.
good ones. And let's see if today is going to be any better. So for Guardian newspaper, we have the major headline reading 2027 computer-based test target. Less than 30% public schools have computer labs, ICT savvy pupils. We also have a display here of 65% of secondary schools in the country lack functional libraries and 90% do not have computer laboratories. 7% Nigerians between 15 and 24 have IT skills. 2027 CBT deadline is overly ambitious, says stakeholders. Last UBAC census showed that 89% of private urban schools teach computer studies compared to just 12% of public rural schools. 28.75% of senior secondary schools have basic computer proficiency, and about 72% of educators lack digital training. Many homes spend more on food and necessities than on gadgets. This is one highlight that is very, very major. I mean, bringing all the facts and figures, it's something to really highlight. And above that, we see stories here. It says, days of electoral impunity over. Obi declares Senate to change presidential inauguration venue, mandate June 12 address. 150,000 cases of babies born with sickle cell disease yearly in Nigeria. Ignore busybodies bystanders, Tinubu tells Wike at reopening of center. June 12, Lamido urges Tinubu to immortalize Humphrey Nwosu. Plateau, 58 killed, 31 injured, 15,000 displaced in 6 weeks. Knock Trail Wike stakeholders meeting as PDP crisis deepens. We have more stories here from the World Bank. It's bullish on Nigeria economy, max up growth forecast to 3.6%. And the last story here says power outage plunges Adamawa, Borno, Taraba, Yobe in darkness. So like we already told you, the papers highlight some of the major challenges we have here. And I can bring out at least 4 industries here that seem to have some problem, from the health sector to the education sector to the power sector, even to the finance sector, and lastly, politics and governance. There's just something that seems to be going off. And maybe one of these days we'll have more discussion, because on Monday, I think Monday's discussion was centered around reforms for teachers and how to improve, all of that. I mean, something here is quite key, where he said that few teachers themselves are even not as digital or as ICT savvy as they will call it, right? And there's a gap in that sector. But the one that catches my interest, because it's like an outflow of yesterday's discussion. So I was telling Godriti what I read in the Punch yesterday, how that there are certain laboratories that are now forging fake genotype results so that people can get married. And the case study was a mosque in Bauchi State. So apparently the mosque administrators discovered that some of these people are bringing fake results, so they cross-check it again. That means whatever results you bring for us, we have our own people, internal audits, that are going to go through all of them, and they discovered that a number of them fake the result, maybe because they just want to marry. And we know that if we bring AS, you will say, no, Allah will not allow you marry and all of that. So now I'm seeing a story here that says 150,000 cases of babies are born with sickle cell disease yearly in Nigeria. That is outrageous on its own. Let me give you the full details. I hope I can. It says Nigeria has the highest number of newborns affected by the sickle cell disease worldwide, with around 150,000 cases annually. And this is from an associate professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School, Dr. Maureen Achebe. And this is even as she predicted that the total cost of sickle cell disease across sub-Saharan Africa is expected to rise from $9.1 billion per annum to $10.2 billion by 2030. So she has tasked the Nigerian government to prioritize newborn screening to ensure early detection and intervention for sickle cell diseases. Nigeria carries the highest burden of sickle cell disease in the world. 300,000 babies are born every year in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, with sickle cell disease, and 150,000 of those babies are born in Nigeria. That's over half, or about half, 50% now we get them, 50 the other African countries. That's outrageous. And it is predicted that this number will go up with our fertility rate, so we'll continue to be the highest burden of sickle cell disease, and it is important for these babies to do well. So, I could go on and read more of the stories here, but yesterday when we were talking about child right violation, one of the things I highlighted when reading out the right that a child has is right to good health, right to life, basically. And so having to bring a child into this world to deal with sickle cell for the for the most part of their lives, right? It's quite outrageous. And we've heard that some of these people that get, the aid that they desire or that they want, it costs a lot of money. The bone marrow transplant or so. I mean, I've seen some people come out on social media for donations. There was even one that went very controversial. She had to gather money. One very popular influencer, she gathered money from people for bone marrow. And it was actually true that she had sickle cell, but she squandered the money for something else. And till date, nobody has heard of whatever happened. So we have cases like this across, but this is not just a governmental or health thing. I'm trying to link this story with yesterday's own. I mean, sickle cell, I don't think, it is not like a disease that you get by like airborne disease or so. It's something that is congenital in the sense that it happens from birth. That means parents are the ones who actually determine sickle cell children. So if we can have more awareness.
I think that personally, I'm done with being emotional about people who still go ahead to give birth in the name of love, in the name of religion, in the name of whatever it is that you thought
outrageous
worked, in the name of it could change from one thing to one thing. The reality is that there is something called AS, AA, AC, SC, and the rest thereabout. If you cannot, the same way they'll say know your status, your HIV status, it's very important that you also know your blood group and genotype so that you know your decisions are very, very aware, like you are sure that you're making the right decision. And I don't think that asking anyone's their genotype or blood group is not a first date question. If you're really sincere about moving from friendship to relationship to marriage with that person, asking the person's genotype is not a weird first date question. I don't know why a lot of people are now saying that. Why will you ask me what my genotype is on the first day? If it's just vibes and cruise, obviously, I will not care about what your genotype is.
Me, if AS wants to marry, and you know that this love is very strong for you, then decide not to actually have children. There's nothing wrong with people coming together for the sense of, communion or whatever they call it. Do you understand? But you don't need to have children because maybe they feel like, oh, children is necessarily the most important part of marriage. But of course, you can't say this to a society that thinks that having children is the best thing that can ever happen to you.
There's really never enough. The percentage of people who are actually happy not having children as compared to people who know that the basis of their marriage or of what the society sees is the reproduction that happens there. Sometimes, even when partners start with, I really love you, you really love me, when they eventually get married and at some point there's no kids, this person, the man or the woman might start growing maybe 5 years, 6 years, and then she's like, okay, I feel the need for a child. But you've already made the decision to be married to, I can't say wrong person, to this person, right? And this person comes with consequences of any decision you people make from there. From there, we're having marital issues. We have seen where they said divorce has increased over the years. Why would divorce not increase? Because people only talk about things before the marriage, but then the realities of marriage start to struck a lot of people. When they get into the marriage, they say change is constant, so it's bound to happen. You're either more attentive when you are married or you are less attentive when you are married. Something always happens.
Life crisis.
So everyone, individually and even together as couples or as partners. So I just hope that people will start taking initiative to stop doing this to children.
I don't like when Nigeria is always
half.
Top of the list when it comes to things like this. 150,000 is a whole lot.
Well, the Daily Trust has a lot of stories. Honestly, nothing great. We have the June 12th, on the headline, we have the June 12th protest. They said it's going to be a protest against hardship, insecurity, and it's to hold in 20 states, says the organizers. Above that, we have why INEC is yet to conduct by-elections into 7 seats at the National Assembly. The Northeast to experience 4-day blackout. Gunmen kill 4 in fresh attack in Benue. 96 houses burnt down in Plateau community. And the last but not the least here, ICC commissioned, renamed after Tinubu. And I think I'm really done with this killing and even this renaming after people thing. Because sometimes, okay, first let me talk about this Benue attack. Benue and Plateau are experiencing the worst cases of killings, banditry, and insecurity. And I don't know how we can ask the government to focus more on these areas where it is so heated. I know that they're trying to tackle insecurity across board, but there are some areas where it has become so heated that people can barely live. Every day, almost every day on the news, Benue State is making headlines on banditry, on kidnapping, on insecurity. So now 96 houses were burnt down in Benue, in Plateau community. I'm trying to count 96, and it's not a small number. And this is people being displaced from their homes, from their livelihood, to wherever state or country that they might decide to move to. But this still is going to come with trauma, is going to come with memories of what has happened to them. So I just hope that the government can take first assurance that these cases will be tackled with. And these issues of blackout, I think that we've experienced this in Lagos already, but blackout for what reason exactly? The Northeast is one of the areas where we try to take information and all these things too, because they're somewhat the least in terms of information in that sense. And a 4-day blackout, for me, I hope it's for a good cause and it doesn't lead into
How can a blackout be for a good cause? I'm trying to think of
maybe they want
what
to twist
good cause can come
I'm trying
out.
to think maybe they want to screw one wire together or something. I don't know, but then I always like to leave our conversations with a sense of maybe what if, right?
Okay.
So that it doesn't look like we're totally condemning the government in that sense, or these organizations are in charge of giving us electricity. So I hope it's for a good cause. Tell Nigerians that it's for a good cause, I beg you. But
Because
yes,
you're not in Adamawa, you're in Lagos, you can open your mouth and say what if you were in Borno, you would be questioning people right now. But I mean, I get it.
Thank you for joining us on this particular newspaper, because I know that it gives a lot of opinions to what Nigeria should look like. And that's why I was saying that June 12th for us should be more like that time where we reevaluate what democracy should look like, because these are the things that actually depend or that influence what happens in our daily lives from different countries or different states in Nigeria. But that's all we have on today's newspaper. We'll go on a break and then we'll come back with our hot topic for today. Please stay with us.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Welcome back to the show. As mentioned earlier, today we're discussing friendships in the eyes of the Gen Zs. And let's be honest, friendship doesn't look the same anymore. That's talking personally in this time, especially for the Gen Zs in Nigeria. It's no longer about just hanging out after school or growing up on the same street. These days, friendship lives on our phones more than real life. A lot of us are making friends online, on TikTok, on Snapchat, on Twitter, Instagram DMs, even in group chats where nobody has ever met themselves in person. And honestly, some of those friendships feels very real, but at the same time, they can be fragile One wrong comment and the old vibe disappears. As we popularly say, it's all vibes and cruise until you step on somebody's toes. No depth, just vibes. And we also have the issue where one day you're texting every day, the next day no response. And I personally am guilty of that. I have a ghosting culture problem, and it's not like people died. It's not like they died or anything. They just were ghosted. And sadly, ghosting has become normal. But the truth is, it hurts. And I know I've done it. It has been done to me. I've done it to people. And I know that not everyone knows how to process being cut off with no explanation. If we even want to go into the emotional side in Nigeria, we don't always talk openly about mental health. Mental health is something that's it's almost like it goes over our head every time we want to have the conversation about mental health. So many of us turn to our friends when we're feeling anxious, burnt out, or lost. But sometimes it becomes too much. One person ends up carrying the emotional weight of the entire friend group. It's not sustainable and it's not fair. To be honest, it's not fair. Because yes, I'm suffering. But matter of fact, these days some friendships only exist on Instagram. People post birthday shout-outs, selfies, and sip captions. But offline, no real connection, no calls, no care, nothing. And it's easy to confuse attention with affection. Likes and retweets don't always mean someone really has your back. Our generation is big on setting boundaries, and while I think that's important, but sometimes we take it too far. We cut people off for making mistakes instead of having real conversations. We cancel friends instead of correcting them. Not every disagreement is betrayal, I beg. Not every disagreement is betrayal, and growth always requires grace. And sincerely, at the end of the day, what most Gen Zs really want, if I'm going to be speaking as maybe the Gen Z with other Gen Zs that follow me in the back that are with me, is that realness should come first. Loyalty, support, laughter. I like to laugh. If you're my friend, we must laugh. If you not laugh, I don't want to do friendship with you. I'm going to cut you off.
You have betrayed me.
You have betrayed me. So people will check in, not just check your story. If you only check my story and you don't check in on me, I cannot consider you as my friend. People will also stand by you when your life isn't as aesthetic or Instagram worthy. It's part of the people that I consider good friends. And friendship should feel safe. It should also feel like home. It should feel like family. Sometimes, even if you're not related by blood. But, I mean, I've said a lot, and I would really love to hear Oluchi's perception about friendship. So first off, what's your perception about Gen Zs and our friendship codes?
I said Gen Z is not really into this Gen Z lifestyle. It can be difficult to answer. But I remember seeing something. So there was this picture of secondary school students signing out. And what caught me there was that they were very emotional in their sign-outs. I mean, these people were legitimately crying real tears. It was sad for them to leave. These were secondary school students. And then one of the comments was like, let's not even lie. Secondary school friendship was the real deal. Like when you start growing and getting to the university, like that friendship you build later, it becomes maybe transactional in some ways or to meet a particular end. But some of the real friendships that we had, some people would be when we were in primary school together, people we grew up with, those childhood memories, people in secondary school and all that. But I mean, looking at that, that's why I say experiences differ for people. That is not my own reality. I would say for my secondary school mates, I don't think I have any major touch with anyone. And it's quite sad. Remember you asked me a question firstly that how do you make friends? I consider myself a very loyal person. I believe I am. I believe that if I'm with somebody, I'm actually with you and I mean it. I've tested it across board and I know those I don't want to be with and I won't even try to be with anything. So in secondary school, I had people that I called my best friends. I don't want to mention their names, but today they are so distant. Some of them check my status. I check their status as well.
Checking stories.
So you know that I exist. I know that you exist, but nothing is coming out of it. So when somebody is saying in secondary school you make the realest friendship, maybe for you, but that's not my own reality. That's not my own story. People who we went to secondary school together almost act like you do not exist. There was even one that really shocked me. When I was in GSS1, we used to stay in the same street. So I used to go to our house so that we would go to school together. And so we had that kind of friendship, I think, in my own little definition of what friendship. Friendship is just when you are fond of someone. There's no complication to that definition. I like you, you like me. There's something beautiful about you to like. It doesn't probably even go about values and the rest. It's firstly just, I am fond.
In secondary school, nothing valuing
What
about
value?
it. It's just, we can eat together,
Exactly.
we can go on break together.
Just one
but
natural vibe that comes up. And that's how I generally like to see friendship first. Of course, values will not help us build something substantial. So I used to go with this friend to school every morning. So we had that relationship from JSS1, JSS2. I think she left us in JSS3 or so. This is the shocking part. We met in the university. Then that's the University of Lagos. She was studying law. I mean, I was in guidance and counseling. And, of course, she is the big girl now. I mean, you know law students in University of Lagos. They are the big girls. Shout out to you guys. So then she looked all prim and proper. And I was looking like the simpleton that I am. Somehow I felt like maybe she didn't want to roll with me. If she watches this one day, sorry, it's from the depths of my heart that I'm doing this confession. But at the end of the day, what happened was it didn't feel like I have known this person. On my own part, I was ready to rekindle whatever flame we had because I knew you the major part of my childhood. We talked about this university that we're in. We've had stories of, oh my God, this is what I want to study, this is what I want to be, this is where I want to go. And I'm meeting you, and it's one cold response of, hi, how are you doing? You're here. Bye. I'm like, really? Is this what it is about? So I couldn't relate to that story. And I would say that friendship really changes. It's dynamic. And I'm at this point in my life where I'm trying to understand the different times and seasons that comes with friendship and not to overthink many things. One thing that has bothered me that I've noticed is that I try to overthink some people's fallouts or even some people's shortcomings, and it didn't sit well with me. So sometimes I'm like, just give people grace. I like what you read about friendship being about grace. Growth is about grace. It's not about proving that you are the one that has the manual of friendship. It's actually about grace because at the end of the day, people will be human. So friendship is a very major thing for me. And I think I will still be that loyal friend to people. And I am the one who usually make friends with people. And I'm usually grateful when people extend that same to me. I mean, I treasure it a whole lot. You even know that I'm the one that is always in your face. I'm the one that was always going to talk about it. So for me, that's basically how I will start the conversation.
I don't think that I personally remember what it was like in primary school. I think I was the teacher's bane of teachers. Yeah, I was not good to teachers. No, not good in that sense, but I was very stubborn. So I always focused my energy on the teachers rather than making friends.
Okay.
So it was almost like every teacher knew me. And they knew me as this girl that was always saying this and that is it. She's not going to go back. She might be obedient, but when it comes to what she wants to say, that's about it. But with friends, it was like they knew me through what the teachers had said, and that's how we got close. And even on days when I feel like, okay, I'm supposed to be friends with this person or we're friends, I can become cold on some days. Like, I don't like to go out for break. A lot of people like to go out for break. That's when they want to catch up. That if your friend is maybe in science class and you're in art class, you know that moment of, oh, what did that teacher say? I was never that person. I don't want to go on break. I don't want you to come and tell me, let's go and play 10-10, whatever.
Friend.
I was just in the class, not reading, not doing anything, just sitting. So it was hard to actually gather enough friends that wanted to do that with me. We was just going to sit. Others wanted to be outside, playing, talking, gisting. That was not me. So the friendships I made during secondary school was more like they were friends with me. That's why I said that they were friends with me because they know that, okay, this person is a cool person. Other than that, when they ask me, are you going to come and visit me at home? No. When we catch up, no. This one, no. And it was not because of anything. It was not like I didn't want to go to their house or anything. It just didn't come from, you know, that thing that pushes you that, oh, let me go to, just like you say, you go to that friend's house and then people will go to school together.
My mama
I
don't
know
tell
they
me, don't go anywhere, but I will go to this friend's house. Let's go to
I
school
don't
together.
go to people's houses until date is still like an issue. If I come to your house, just know that it took me, and I really wanted to do it. But other than that, it's just like flat. I love you. I appreciate you. I can't do without you, but I can't do without you without going to your house. That kind of thing. So it sort of restricted my circle where people came to my house, they eat, sometimes they even sleep over in my house. We're happy. I celebrate their birthdays with them. I can buy cake, buy teddy, buy all this, all these things. But when they now say, okay, now it's your birthday, I'm like, you know what? Don't stress it. And I mean it. It's not like I'm expecting anything, but I really mean that. Don't stress. I just appreciate the fact that you exist. That's about it.
Wow.
No, honestly, and that's one of the things that I always battle with in most friends. When it's almost close to my birthday, and then I'm seeing my friends texting me, so what we get for you now? You safe, your wahala. I'm like, the problem is that you are overthinking what you should do back. If you can see friendship from the angle that I see it, it will be easier for you to be friends with me while I'm also friends with you. When I'm friends with you, I'm not expecting anything. And that's what is different. That's why when you mention transactional friendship, I've seen it a lot of times where people feel like, this thing, let me do it back or let me collect, which I've also experienced when people are friends with me and they see that this girl likes to give. This girl likes to be part of their life. They're like, this is my time. I will build house on top of this friendship. You get it? Which I have noticed in some friendships where I've now put that barricade there. Okay, this person no longer loves me. It's now more of what the person can get from me. But if I see that, okay, well, even when I give, that happiness, that excitement of, okay, yes, this person gave to me, this person, in fact, so for you to even collect what I give is a form of friendship to me. Because some people say no. Some people can say that, oh, no, I don't collect that where I'm from. I don't do this. So for me, secondary school was like, I just knew people and people knew me. But I was never really friends with people. The person I called my best friend that we went to primary school together into secondary school, even at that, we were not best friends in secondary school. You know, when you move from that vibe of we're in primary school together, we now got to secondary school. She always loved to be social, do 10-10 outside, sit with other groups of people, do cultural dance, go and farm. And I was just like, in the class. And then like, you, this girl, go outside. You get it? So it restricted my friendship group. Even into university, I only had 2 friends. And those are the 2 friends I've tried to maintain up to this point. All the new friends that I've ever made that were friends with me, I just told them, like, it's not sustainable. I'm not going to be there for you in the way that you want me to be there for you. You're not going to be there for me in the way that I want you to be there for me.
Strike me as one who has an honest, how do I put it, a resume. I'm already letting you know what you're going to expect so that you don't have any unnecessary high expectations.
That's why I said that it could hurt when people have high expectations of what they want from you. Everybody comes with an expectation. It's like growing up, there's an expectation of love. There's an expectation of loyalty, friendship, realness. So sometimes when somebody comes with an expectation of the standard of love that they're expecting from you and you cannot give it back, that friendship will suffer.
True.
Especially if you are now in the delulu that this person must give it to me. And then the person keeps faulting and faulting. We're talking about friendships now, but this can also apply to relationships where you will say that this person must give me this standard of love, this standard of friendship from where I'm coming from. Meanwhile, where the person is also coming from is always the bare minimum, nothing extra. And even the bare minimum is like luxury to them. So that's why when we now move on from just secondary school friendship, values, morals, I know that maybe you are the very outgoing person and I'm just the calm person, but morals or sacrifice, being compromising can help me say, okay, we only do this once a month, okay, right? You like to do it every week, but for the sake of our friendship to thrive, yes, let's just do once a month. And then at that point, you can now find maybe balance in the friendship. But some people are like, if you cannot turn up and show up for me, I cannot do it. And that's why friendship for me has been harder growing up. And to be honest, it's not even hard for me. Let's not even lie. I like it the way it is.
I mean, I even feel like I'm making friends better now than when I was younger. Nah, when I was younger, I wanted to make friends so that I can feel among. I was a very gullible person. I can tell you instances. I've told you on this tape, I don't know if it's here. There was a particular, they used to call me peacemaker in secondary school.
Yes, the 3, where you were the 3rd wheel in that sense.
Oh my God. So I was the type that just love me now. Like, I don't do anything bad. And it always bounced back because people will always notice when there's something off about you, when it is like you are the one that is needy, and they will prey on it because humans can be, have that kind of manipulative mindset. So these were friends that I want them to settle together. When they settle, they will not turn on me.
They'll use it to do the final settlement.
It was really crazy.
Mortal Kombat.
It was honestly crazy. And then I realized that it's because I am trying to force this friendship. I wanted to be in the circle of the happening girls, in the circle of the girls that, are intelligent, the girls that are beautiful. Let it be that I'm amongst these people. So it wasn't like I was allowing people to really see me for who I am, my potentials, and choose me likewise. So when you talk about making friends then and now, I'll say that I have gotten better in choosing my friends. So nobody imposes friendship on me. Do you understand? I'm not the one looking for, like, oh, I want to be your friend. We both see values that make sense. We
And
both
then it will
see
naturally align.
exactly, and it will just naturally come together. So it's not like, oh, I'm trying to force myself on someone, because it was really terrible for me growing up. Sometimes I'm happy that there's that space for a mindset reorientation, because it would have messed me up now. Because probably, look at it in relationship angle, for example. Imagine having that needy desire. You will get into the wrong kind of relationship and your life will be totally ruined because you want somebody to love you. You feel like you're not good
and then
enough.
You start to do everything for
exactly.
the person.
So I'm happy that I was able to break out of that mindset, stuff, and began making real friends and allowed people to also see me for who I am. So I think university, my own friendship was in cliques. Our friendship clique was. In fact, I need to go and message those girls on the group. As we have graduated, guys, is this where this friendship is going to end? But we were good girls from 100 level to 400 level. And I think one of our key values was our studies. That's something that brought us together. We were people that wanted to do well. And in our circle, 5 of us, or 6 of us, we had 2 first class, 2 and 4 second class upper. So we were people that wanted to read together, do things. So our values aligned more with educational and self-developmental goals. So maybe because since I finished the school,
educational goals,
I'm wondering what's going to happen. But even in that friendship, you know how they tell you that when there are 6 friends together, they will always be the clique.
Yeah.
So amongst the 6 of us, 2 of them, peace and light, you can hear me wherever you are. Those were like the ones that stood closely to each other. There was Shubumi and Joanna together. I was like the lone wolf. I will be anywhere that you put me, honestly, because I had gone past that trying to fit into somewhere. If you don't meet me, if you don't feel me worthy to fit enough with, I'll just go with the vibe. So I think making friendship now is better for me than when I was young. And I'm very happy. I'm always thanking God that some of the mindsets I had growing up, I'm glad I didn't follow me to this age, or else I would have been a prey to a number of horrible things.
So this is me asking our audiences, were you praised to trying to feel among, or you were just like this small circle, let me just be where I want to be? Like me, that I've always said, you cannot shame the shameless. I'm very confident in my person, and sometimes friendship to me, it has to come with intentionality. But let's just take a quick break and then we'll return talking more about friendships in the eyes of the Gen Zs. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show. We're discussing the friendship in the eyes of the Gen Zs, and we've sort of narrated how friendship grew for some of us and how maybe it went down below for some of us. But taking it online now, it's almost like people have followers. There are a lot of people following you. You're following a lot of people, and people can consider that as friends, mutuals. Do you see we are always sending reels and all of these things to the person. You guys talk on Instagram, but never on WhatsApp, never call, never text. It's just DMs on Instagram. would you consider that as deep friendship? Somebody that you guys have never spoken on phone.
That can never be deep friendship.
Some people consider that as deep friendship.
I don't consider it as deep friendship because deep friendship for me has physical connection. Like, I will see you physically, touch you, look into your eyes.
It's giving.
No, it's not giving. I don't want you to think outside what you should think right now. But that physical connection is there. I mean, friends that you can be vulnerable with. I mean, you can be in your most horrible moments in the sense that you're not looking as clean and kept. I mean, outside on social media, we come up with our best faces and best posture. But when you see me in my worst moment, I've not brushed my teeth.
So you've never met someone, like a close friend online, that you guys have never met before, but you guys are close?
You know, they've also told us that there are different categories to this friendship thing.
No, I'm talking about friends.
No, they don't enter the definition of friend for me. I'll put them in acquaintances.
You've never met somebody. I've actually met someone that we met online, but eventually met in real life afterwards. But
that eventually happened.
It started first on phone, and we spoke for like 2 years online, and then eventually met afterwards, which was very cool. But it didn't feel like the online vibe and stuff. It was like this entire personality online, and then when we met physically, it was like, okay. You know, that's when you're expecting that rush of adrenaline when you eventually meet this person physically. So,
because the foundation you have sown already is texting, and you know, there's a way you can respond with text and emojis.
You know, those kind of situations where it's the real that you send to the person that is going to prompt the conversation. But now you have met physically and there's no real life in them. So you're wondering, should I talk about the ceiling? Should I talk about, oh, maybe I should take him back to the real?
Exactly what I was going to say. Take him back to that real you sent me, and there's nothing very tangible.
But over time, do you think that social media has also helped with building friendships, or it has just taken it down the drain?
I'm not a social media friendship person, and I know this can be extreme for some people. In recent times, I've even been seeing this new trend of social media friendship. Let me explain. Where people who are close friends try to rub it off on other people. So it's almost like, oh, my friend. Then there are also trending reels on Instagram that will make you feel like, actually, I don't have a friend in this life. You know, songs like, oh, we're sisters. Let me not open some things. But it gives me the vibe of maybe some people are now feeling a little bit more pressured to have that social media view of validation of their friendship. There's also the social media aesthetic friendship, where I am friends with someone that fits my current, how do I put it, social status in that sense. So it's almost like, you know, when they matchmake couples, like, oh, two of them are fit. So that's how people also see friendship on social media. Oh, me and this girl, we're probably in the same industry, we're this tall, we're both beautiful, we have money, we should be friends. So when we put our pictures together, when we're always laughing, doing our videos,
collaborate.
Don't remove your tongue.
The views will be
exactly,
30K,
and then you hear you see the comments, and like, oh my God, this is real friendship. Oh my God, I envy your friends. What do you envy there? You don't know anything about their friendship. I'm not saying that some of these friendships don't have, you know, true intentions and they've not built something real and solid. I'm just saying that for people who are gullible, for people who don't really always like to know the full story of things, that should not necessarily be your example. At a point, I had to really sit down and looking at some of all the social media friendship. I mean, some people will think that the friends that they have, they are not aesthetically pleasing. They are not the social media type. They don't even know how to do some of these trends. Like, you know, we go on dinner and we're doing some of these dinner trends that we've seen on Instagram. Who is going to pay? You know, those kind of stuff that people do. Maybe your friend is not like that. But then you've seen other friends doing it. It feels like these ones have the real tea in the friendship. You lose out of it. So social media can be a way to show your love. I mean, we have couples doing couples videos and everything. But that is never going to be a template for me to judge what true friendship is. I think friendship is best judged when people come through for you in your worst moment. That's how you judge a friend. To me, you judge a friend based on how they are able to handle and manage you at your worst moment. Anybody can be your friend when not everything is going well. When they've said this many times that rich people always have plenty of friends. People who are ambitious and have it figured out, they have plenty of friends. But what are moments when I feel stuck? Moments when I'm going through some seasons? Moments when I'm actually toxic in that sense? You understand? Today we've heard when they are toxic, get out, betrayal and everything. But in that moment, the real friends are those that stay with you, watch you build, even silently. Do you understand? I think that's how I judge friendship. And social media won't give you that. Social media won't tell you the backstory of many things. It just brings out the beauty. So something that is that surface can never be a template for me to judge friendship. I judge friendship based on how we have survived things. Somebody recently just told me that if you can survive the first few years of your friendship, like maybe first 1 year, have the toughest of questions, you have survived most of the darkest parts of your relationship, and you know that going forward, things can surely get better, especially if you are honest and sincere from the beginning. Not the 1 year that everybody's pretending, putting forth their best foot. No, 1 year of asking difficult questions, 1 year of not pretending, being as vulnerable as possible to know if we really can go the long haul in this relationship. So me, I was even telling someone yesterday that I want to be a friend that can really offer value, that can be there. That is, when you're going through the worst of things, you would know that Precious is not going to just push me aside. She's not going to like publicly praise me if I've done wrong, or publicly say, or no, privately, or maybe not even criticize me, but you know that she has got my back. And I think that's what friendship is about. Somebody that has got your back regardless. Because we'll be humans, we'll err.
Can
not
also
always
help you to correct you in that
exactly.
sense.
Pray for you, be with you, give you ideas. Do you understand? Help you become better. And also trust, because friendship is about a lot of faith.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel like, oh, I'm giving you the idea, I'm giving you this, you self, you're not taking it. Patience is also there. Can you stay with me for 5, 7, 10 years to see me actually get better?
The truth is that luckily, I've stayed with somebody for 10 years now. I have a 10-year friendship sitting somewhere in my phone.
That's
this person
amazing.
have watched me ghost. This person have watched me sick, alive, passed out, in different phases, happy, moments together, and good relationship, bad relationships. This person has been there. So, yeah, I can get that years can really help you to get to that point where you can say that, point at this person and say, this is my friend. But we're wrapping up very soon.
Wow.
What do you feel about people who post on birthdays? Who post you only on your birthday when you post happy birthday to me? But throughout the year, before that birthday, they don't text you.
Our chats will have only birthday days. Me too. Happy birthday to you. May you prosper. And then to the next year, may the Lord crown your efforts with success, or your success with effort. However it is, we'll give, vibes on vibes. Whatever you bring, we'll give. Except I maybe see something. It depends. So that is very dicey, honestly. If it's birthday, we'll flow with the birthday.
Me, I think that if you post me only on my birthdays, you hear me say things like, thank you, darling. Thank you, sweetheart. Amazing. God bless you. That God bless you. If you reply anything after that, what's up now? As I said, I'm very bad. I used to ghost people. So it's the next year before I'm going to answer it. But this whole conversation is wrapped around actually evaluating yourself and also asking what you need in friendships, or what friendship means to you, especially with these phases of social media friendship and all of these things. So take a moment and think about your circle. Are you surrounded by people who see you, or people who scroll past you? Friendship in our generation is evolving, yes, but let's not lose the heart of it. Let's be intentional. Let's be honest. Let's choose real over just random performative friendship. And if you've got those real friends, the ones who show up, speak truth, and love you fully, hold on to them like this. They are really, really rare. Thank you for listening, and you should share this conversation with a friend of yours. Thank you, Oluchi, for being my friend.
Thank you, Kiki, for being my friend. I love you so much.
Yes, and to our viewers, God bless you. I'll see you again tomorrow with another great topic. Bye.